What's up, builders? This is Raise the Bar Radio, where we talk about building wealth, raising capital, and all in all, raising the bar in your business and your life. This is the No BS podcast for capital raisers, investors, and entrepreneurs who are serious about scaling their business and living life on their own terms. I'm Seth Bradley, securities attorney, real estate investor, and entrepreneur, bringing you world-class strategies from the best in the game. If you're ready to raise more capital, close bigger deals, build a better you, and create true financial freedom, you're in the right place. Let's go.
Man, listen, you probably don't listen. I'm gonna use his words. You probably don't know to look at my man, but he's a security attorney. I told him, and I'm just gonna be honest. I'm gonna show you exactly what I said. Smooth ass looking attorney right here. But not only is he an attorney, that he's an investor. He knows what he's doing. He know how to put you in a position to raise capital. He know how to really help out the real estate investor, and that's what he's going to talk about. And I'm so glad to have him here. I want to introduce you all to Mr. Seth Bradley. Mr. Seth, how you doing today, sir?
Q, what's going on, brother? Doing great. How are you?
Oh man, doing great, doing great. Happy to be here. I get to do something that I love to do, and that's to get to meet new people and to see things from their perspective, from their lens. Now, I can get somebody that's doing the exact same thing all the time and still get a unique perspective because you are a master at what you do. And so I'm really excited to have you here just to pick your brain, man. And so, Seth, I'll be honest, I want to dive in. I would love for you to tell people what your main focus is these days. If you want to give us a little bit of an origin story of how you got started, we love the hero's journey here. So you want to tell us a little bit of how you got started, we love that. And then also, if you want to let us know where you at in the world, man, what markets you operate in, or the people that in the demographic that you serve, we love to know that too, man. So Seth, sir, you got the floor, my friend.
All right, man. Yeah, that's a lot. There's a
Yeah,
lot
I know.
there.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah.
I'm here in sunny San Diego. Love it. Favorite city in the U.S. So I decided to just live here. But I didn't grow up here. I grew up in rural West Virginia. Was actually born in South Korea, and I was adopted 3 months old. Ended up in West Virginia. Basically the only Asian in the whole state.
Oh, man.
But it's West Virginia is home. I call West Virginia home because I love it. It's a beautiful state. My parents still live there. I go back a few times a year. But I grew up, you know, like a lot of people chasing, the best job you could get, thinking trading time for money is the only way to do it. And, the only people in my little town that owned real estate or owned businesses were the local politician family, right? It's even the mansions, and we're friends with them. You've probably heard of them and seen them on TV. The mansions with the local family in town. They own the grocery store, they own the gas station, they own the apartments, they own the real estate. They owned everything, right? And everybody else was just kind of, they do normal things. They're teachers, they're doctors, they're dentists, they're coal miners in West Virginia. My dad's a retired coal miner. My mom's a retired school teacher. Grew
Hmm.
up blue collar. And to me, it was always like, what's the best job you can possibly get? And that was always in my mind was to be a doctor, right? So I went down that pathway. I went to medical school for a year and a half, dropped out because I hated it. I knew it
Hmm.
wasn't for me. Still kind of searching for what I wanted to do. In the meantime, I got my MBA and went ahead and went to law school after that too. Law school was okay.
Yeah.
I did really well there. I saw kind of the vision at that point where I could get into business. I started feeling kind of that entrepreneurial itch. But
Yeah.
I started out in big law. I got that pedigree. Most recently, I worked at DLA Piper. It's the third largest law firm in the world. So I have big law pedigree, big law
Yeah.
experience. And that's enabled me to be able to put together and help clients raise capital compliantly, which is what I do now. I'm a securities attorney by trade, but I'm also a real estate investor. I'm a co-founder in some tech startups. And but it's all centered around real estate. Like it all comes back to real estate because I love it. Like I think a lot of
Yeah.
us out there, especially the listeners, are like, you just love real estate. You don't know why. I mean, it's a good investment. You can create wealth with it. There's all these great things, these tangible things about it. But there's always just that feeling. You're like, man, real estate, I just love it. You love talking about it. You love having conversations about it. It doesn't matter if you're a wholesaler or a fix and flipper or short-term rental owner or a capital raiser, whatever it is. Like a lot of us just have that feeling that we want to be exposed to real estate. And I have that same feeling. And I think because I come from the business side as well, and I'm a real estate investor myself, that's how I can really help clients, because I've been in their shoes and I am in their shoes. I'm not just a service provider.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love it. Thank you for walking me through the journey. And I'm writing stuff down. I'm like, this guy was about to be, could have been a doctor. Now he's a lawyer, real estate investor. I'm like, man, like you're checking off a lot of different boxes that a lot of us wish we could check off. But so obviously you had an incredible journey. Hats off to your parents. They sound like hard workers. Sound like they put amazing values in you. And I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit on some of the key kind of strategies and values that have kind of powered you throughout your journey. And I would love to know business strategies, business things that's powered you, and also some personal strategies that powered you. I know some people do meditation and working out, but so what are some core business strategies and personal strategies that has helped you along your journey?
Yeah, for sure. And to me, like, obviously there's a difference between personal and business, but the closer you can make those two things the same, the more you're going to feel kind of centered in life, and the more fulfilled you're going to be. If you can have all your business and your family and life and personal stuff all together, like it's all kind of congruent, works together, then that's when you find like happiness, and that's what you need. I think that's what people should strive for. It's not
Yeah.
one or the other. It's not black and white. It's all one and the same. And I've just now kind of gotten to that point where it's like, a lot of my business partners, they're my best friends now too. It didn't
Yeah.
used to be that way. When I was younger, my best friends were people that I would go to the bar with, right? And hang out with and have drinks with. And that's probably as far as those relationships ever got. They didn't get that deep. They were surface level, that sort of thing. But nowadays it's like my business partners, well, first of all, they're my business partners because they're smart, intelligent, resourceful, and they're good at what they do, but they're also good people, and they're people that I would want to hang out with and want to go to dinner with and want to have a beer with, right?
Yeah.
So those two things are starting to come together. So I really value relationships, and bringing business and personal relationships together. That's a pretty broad question. I mean, there's a couple of things I would like to mention. Is a couple core values to me that are really important and that really drive me. And I'll just pick
Mhm.
one. Actually, accountability to me is always in the
Mhm.
back of my mind. I mean, accountability across all things, whether that's in your job or in investing or running a team or even being a W-2 employee, whatever it is, like just accountability, right? Like accountability for your actions, for your results, for where you are. That giving anyone else or anything else power over you
Mm,
doesn't help you. Doesn't help you.
mm, mm.
Now, some of us were born into certain things and weren't born into certain things, and that's
Yeah.
that's fact, right? That is a
Yeah.
fact. We all
Yeah.
understand that. But leaning on those things and those shortcomings aren't going to get you anywhere. But by being accountable and saying, well, I don't care where I started, or I don't care if it might actually be somebody else's fault. It doesn't matter.
Mm,
That you can't help those things. But what you
yeah.
can control, what you can help is, well, what can I do? What can I do better? What could I have done differently to have a better result and have a better result the next time? So
Yeah.
accountability for myself, and I hold all of my employees and people, business partners and people I work with, to that same standard. And that's being accountable and saying, what can I do better to improve?
Yeah. No, that's a huge word, and I'm glad you chose to highlight accountability because that resonates with me so much. I have what I call a group of accountability men in my life. That's like the board of directors of my life. That's
Mm,
also, people that I'm accountable to in business. But I don't want to make any decision just in a hollow, just a decision just based on my own head. I believe wisdom is in the counsel of many, right? So when you have people that can hold you accountable, more times you're going to make a wiser decision than you just making an isolated solitude decision. And I love how you're talking about like integrating your life. Like when you integrate your life on all levels, I got another saying where I say, when you know who you are, when you know who you are, you know what to do. When you know who you are, when you have a well integrated life, you can put me in a business decision, you can put me in a personal decision. I'm still going to be the same person I'm supposed to be, powered by the same core values. So I appreciate everything that you said. It really connected with me. Yeah,
100%, 100%,
yeah,
man. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Finding that fulfillment, finding that integration between personal and business, and just life in general, man, because it's short.
yeah, absolutely. You got that right for sure.
Pardon the interruption, but we don't do ads. Instead, know that if you're raising capital for real estate, my law firm, Raise Law, is here to give you the expert legal guidance you need to raise capital compliantly and structure and close your deal. And if you're looking for a done-for-you fund-to-fund solution, TribeVest is the industry's only all-in-one setup and fund administration solution. Visit raise.law and tribevest.com to learn more.
So Seth, let me ask you, as you built success on this journey to success, have you faced any adversity? Now, I like to tell people all the time, there's a journey to success, and how we got to the success. Sometimes it comes through, having to pivot fast, or something, deals falling through, or something not going the way you expected it to go. So, are there any times that you had to face adversity as you was building?
Tons, man. There's tons. I think the
Mm.
key is that you're resilient and that you learn from those things that either happen to you or happen for you, however you want to look at it.
Yep.
And you move on. You
Yeah.
move on because there's going to be another at bat, right? Um, for me, growing up in West Virginia, I mean, I went to a pretty big high school with like 1,500 kids. I was the
Mhm.
only Asian there. There was no diversity whatsoever.
Mhm.
You can imagine there's a little bit of racism going on there. And
Yeah.
looking back, if I think about it, I'm like, man, that was actually pretty bad. But I've already
Mhm.
like moved on. Like I think a lot of people get stuck on those things and they use it as a crutch almost
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
their life. And I've just kind of used it as a propel moving forward. And then I've moved on. Like I don't even think about it. But that was definitely something I had to overcome looking back.
Yeah.
But it's just like so far behind me at this point. I don't even bother with it. And I would say, some other things like dropping out of medical school. That's some
Mhm.
adversity right there. Like, what are you going to do? I mean, you think of doctors as kind of the apex of society, and they are. They're incredible, incredible people. They do incredible things, and we need them. And to pivot my life out of that and into something else, and I kind of went down a pathway of partying for a little while after that, while I
Mhm.
was trying to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life. That's some adversity I had to deal with. And luckily, I did stay kind of in school and in higher education. As I mentioned, I got my MBA in law school. I'd
Yeah.
stayed in that the whole time because school came pretty easy to me. So I was fortunate enough to have that. But certainly there was adversity along the way, and there's endless number of business things that have come up along the journey, and you've just got to know that, hey, you got to deal with it and you got to move on. You got to deal with it
Yeah.
and move on. If you're a true entrepreneur, you're going to have lots of stuff come up. And the more bullshit that you can deal with on a
Mhm.
daily and weekly and monthly basis and keep moving forward and keep doing better, the more successful you're going to be.
Yeah. I absolutely love it. So some parallels, I was the only black person, in my graduating class in high school. Unlike you, school did not come easy to me. School was not easy to me. I had to work really, really hard. But like you, I had the same mentality that you can get unstuck. You do not have to stay stuck. You are a master of your own, a captain of your own ship, master of your own fate. Like you can find a way to pull yourself forward. You can find a way to get your mindset, to get your, yes, things may have happened that was unfair, but you can't control it. Like you said, it's happened. How do we move forward past that so you can get unstuck? So I'm with you. I believe in doing the hard work on my mind, hard work on my mental, but hard work, when it comes to business and the reality, creating the reality that you want. And so I definitely hear you on that. And I think that's a good mind shift, a good mind shift for people that's watching this that may be stuck. And so I appreciate you saying that. I really do.
100%, man. You sound
Yeah.
like you've got the right mindset, right? Like, always moving forward, always saying, how can I get better? Taking accountability for your actions and even for other people's actions, but just saying like, what can I control? And don't worry
Yeah.
about what you can't.
That part right there. No, I hear you loud and clear, Seth. So let me ask you, man, what's the next real goal? Is there something you're looking to solve, or something that you're looking to scale? Like, what's the next real goal for you?
Yeah, I mean, overall, we're really trying to bring private equity, private real estate deals to the mass market. Like
Yeah.
we're trying to expand, right? That's through my law firm, Raise Law. So, like you mentioned before, I don't necessarily look like an attorney. I don't talk
Yeah.
like an attorney, but I do have the pedigree,
Yeah.
And me and my law firm partner are looking to really expand that and help people raise capital compliantly through funds and syndications and fund of funds. And then also through a company that I'm chief legal officer for called TribeVest, which I think a lot of people have probably already heard about. We
Hmm.
put together SPV fund of funds for people to raise capital into, and then in turn invest into, let's say, somebody else's syndication or fund. And we make it super easy and economical to do that. And we're working really hard right now to get through our Series A raise round right now. So that's
Gotcha.
huge because we are a tech company. We're software powered.
Gotcha. Definitely hear you, man. And I hear you saying a lot. I know you talked a little bit about your partners. You're a lawyer. It seems like you make incredible connections. And so I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit about relationships. I would love for you to talk to us about if relationships are valuable to you. And if they are valuable to you, how have they affected you? Has it been positive, negative? I would just love to hear your thoughts on relationships, man.
It's huge, man. Relationships are everything. And you wouldn't know it now, but 5 years ago, like I would be scared to death to be on a show like this, to be on a show with the camera rolling, to be talking to somebody like this. I would just be a little bit nervous. Like I'm just not used to it. Like I hated like going to, you know, these networking events that we had to go to as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Just hated it. Just was not for it. And then it was crazy enough that like when COVID hit, I launched my own podcast because I was in a
Hmm.
mastermind at the time, and they said, "Hey, you've got to launch a podcast or start a mastermind or start a meetup." Meetups were big at the time. And I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? Let's do this podcast thing. And I had no idea what I was doing, but through that podcast, I was able to become a better speaker, not
Yeah.
just online but in person. You
Yeah.
just network with all kinds of awesome people, and it really just it helps you in so many different facets of life. Like I can't even describe it. I mean, even I love going to networking events now, and I probably still hate going to those lawyer networking events that I used to
Yeah.
hate. I still probably still hate them. I might have fun with it nowadays, though. I think I'm a little more confident now, and I'd have fun with it.
Yeah.
But like the real estate networking events, like BEC and Raise Fest and places like that. Love to go to those places, see the people, see people that I've met online in person, or they'll be like, "Hey, I listened to your show," or "I saw you online," and I do the same thing with other people. And it's awesome. It's awesome
Yeah.
to like actually get in front of somebody, shake their hand, have a conversation, have a drink. It's awesome.
Yeah. Again, you bring a big smile to my face because similarly, I started a podcast right when COVID hit, or right in the middle of COVID. Did not want to be on camera. I like connecting and talking to people, but I had mentors around me to saying, "Hey, man, you really need to get on camera. You really need to do a podcast." Did not want to, so I'm just like you. I think people would not have guessed 5 years ago I would not be caught dead doing this. I just
Totally,
wouldn't. Yeah,
totally.
definitely like to connect with people, but just on camera, talking to different people, yeah, that just wasn't my forte. But I'm like you said so many times, we can recreate ourselves, we can face our fears, and once we face what we uncomfortable with, we get very comfortable in being uncomfortable sometimes. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And so I am with you. Like I've learned that yes, some things gonna be awkward, it's gonna be uncomfortable at the beginning, but man, and you can master anything once you put your mind to it. Once you have, the intentionality to really go at it, you can almost master anything. I don't think I would, have people trust me to be a doctor or nothing like that, but so
need a
you can
little need
almost
a little
master it
training for that.
just a little bit, just a little
Yeah,
bit. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
yeah. But I think people know what I mean. If you
yeah.
really put the work in, you can do anything that you can do anything that you want to.
Totally.
And
I
so
think speaking in generally is like
yeah.
a big one. It's a big one because if you ask somebody what's your biggest fear, I mean, so many people would say public speaking, which to me includes this. Like whether even if
Yeah,
it's one on one or one to many or in person, like it's speaking, right? It's just
yeah,
speaking generally. People are scared to death to do it, but man, it is such a huge unlock in your
yeah,
life if you are able to get in front of people and communicate, whether that's online, whether that's in front of people at a meeting or at a
yeah,
presentation or at an industry event, like whatever it is, you really need to get good at communicating your ideas and your feelings and your thoughts and organizing them in a great way to
yeah,
others, and it's
yeah,
powerful. Like it just
yeah.
changes your life and your confidence.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And so, as he just said, communication, getting serious about what it is that you want to do, what you want to present. And I want to build on that too. I would tell you also, not you, but our audience, just be curious, be naturally curious. When you're naturally curious about something, you have a way to ask questions that really develop a real deep meaning about what it is that you're trying to go after. So anything that you're thinking about pursuing, just be naturally curious. Don't think about it as is this a task, this is a job. Be curious about it. And I promise you, it will unlock some creativity in you where you will really approach things just from a different perspective. What do you think about Seth? Seth, you think that's a good thing, being curious?
Always be curious. Like I think it goes right with the communication thing. I mean, people are afraid of getting into conversations with strangers. They say, I don't know what to say. I don't know
Yeah,
how to keep a conversation going. I'm just keeping it in your mind just to be curious, right? Just ask
yeah,
questions. Just ask why or what, right? And people
yeah.
love to talk about themselves, right? So like the more that you ask questions and they talk, the more that they're going to remember speaking to you, even if they're the ones that were speaking the whole time, because people love talking about themselves and where they're from and what they do and all those sorts of things. So, actually, the best way to make an impression on somebody is to ask questions and have them speak most of the time.
Absolutely, y'all. He's giving y'all a masterclass. Yeah, absolutely. That's free game right there, y'all. Seth, man, this has been incredible. Before we start to wrap up, I'll do a clean call to action after I ask you this. But is there anything else that you can think of that maybe you want to give people by way of encouragement, education, just anything that you can think of? Maybe, hey, let me just put this last little nugget right here. Is there anything that comes to mind for you, Seth?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm all about raising capital and doing it compliantly. There's a lot of people out there that are raising capital non-compliantly because they don't understand the rules and the laws and the regulations around it. But that's what I'm here for. That's what securities attorneys are for. We're here to help guide you. And that's what I do. So I would love for people to just reach out to me. If you want to scale your business, you've got to use other people's money. And that means raising capital, partnering with people that have capital when you run out of your own. And many times that's going to get you into the law or into the realm of securities law. And you're going to need a securities attorney to help structure your deals. And I'm that person. So reach out anytime with any questions, and you can find me online just about anywhere for content about raising capital.
Gotcha. So is that the call to action? That the way they get in contact with you, just look at where you look you up, and they can find you anywhere the name Seth Bradley is.
Absolutely, man. I'd say the best place would be, for a broad audience, would be just to go to Seth Bradley, ESQ,
Mhm.
Esquire.com.
Gotcha.
And all of my stuff, all of my companies are there. You can get links to Raise Law and TribeVest that I mentioned, and all my social media links and all that. And you can find me all over social media, anyways.
Absolutely. But there he is, y'all, Seth Bradley. Seth, sir, first off, thank you for your time. I really appreciate that. Secondly, thank you for your stories, incredible stories. You're incredible in storyteller. And so I see everything as stories. I think nothing in this world moves without stories. And so thank you so much for your storytelling. But definitely thank you for your perspective, for your mind, the way you think. I think you planted enough seeds for people to have a slight mind shift as they look at life, as they look at business. And so I really appreciate you being here today. This is great, man.
Thanks, Q. Really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Well, listen, y'all got the value. You got it from Mr. Seth. Y'all heard it. Please make sure you subscribe. That way you can always come when that alert goes off, you can come in and get this content. Mr. Seth, I thank you again. And to everyone else, we will see you on the next time.
Let's go. Thanks for tuning in to Raise the Bar Radio. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Keep pushing, keep building, and keep raising the bar. Until next time, enjoy the journey.